Glover staying in the pocket. She doesn't get anything like the energy and the power of Jason Belmonte, nor would you expect her to, but it's not all about power, it's about accuracy.
Absolutely, the two of them playing in the lane quite differently. As you can see, Zara's ball more down the boards, and if you look at Belmo, he really does cover a lot of boards, swinging the ball quite hard from to the right and then back to the left-hand side.
Well, he ripped the rack there, didn't he? That's been a long time coming.
Yeah, that was a good strike there by Belmo, but even there I think he knows that ball was hooking quite hard as it went into the pocket and possibly leaving another 9-pin, but all 10 in the pit, and hopefully they can get a string of strikes going for Belmo.
Yeah, it's developing into a good little match, this one.
Yeah, steady start by both players. Zara strikes here. She could possibly take a 20-pin lead.
Another nice strike. A second double for Zara Glover. She's not been out of the pocket yet.
No, it really looks like Zara's got a great lineup to the pocket. She's throwing the ball much more direct at the pocket, not looking for too much hook.
Ooh, she wasn't happy, and then, oh yeah, we're okay. Got away with one.
Yeah, I think she knows that ball was going slightly high. But we can't be robots out there, so you allow a little room
not
for error.
That's the biggest smile of the competition so far from Zara Glover.
Yeah, we've seen a few smiles in the first game, not so many in the second.
Will Jason be smiling? No.
Yeah, it just looks to me, after the first 5 frames, that Jason's struggling to get the ball down to its break point. That's obviously the point at which the bowling ball hooks, and that to me just looks like it's slightly too early. So either he can try some rotation to get it down the lane, maybe some ball speed, or perhaps even a ball change.
We're seeing far too much of this gimmick ball for Jason Belmonte's liking. 5 frames, and 4 times he's had to bring this thing out, and this time he's got a bit of a mess to clear up.
This is a hard spare with a sleeper in the background.
Covered it nicely.
Yeah, that's a great spare. I know that's not one of Belmo's favourite spares. In fact, it's actually none of our favourite spares. It's a hard spare on a normal day with that 9-pin in the background. It makes it a little bit harder.
The 6 was timely. I mean, if you're going to get a 6, that's when you get it, when you're working on a strike, so it didn't cost him anything in terms of the pin count.
No, excepting that he's lost 10 pins to Zara after her double, and Zara now, if she strikes again, can take her lead to 30.
And she's been rock steady so far through 5 frames. 4 strikes, 1 spare. All 5 pretty much in the pocket.
I use the same ball in my match, the Brunswick strike zone.
That was out of the pocket. Just made the head pin, and she's got a problem here. You were saying about that ball. Was it the ball's fault or was it Zara's fault?
No, I'm afraid that's obviously going to be the player's fault. But I was going to say it looked a bit like me bowling there, actually. But as you can see, Zara missing her target to the right. And just there's no room for error on the right-hand side of your target. You know, that ball is not recovering enough and leaving again the 2-pin. But unfortunately for Zara, she's got the 8 and the 10-pin with it.
And that little lead she had could be wiped out here, and it's going to be.
Yeah, that's the first open frame for Zara.
Tough spare to make.
Yeah, but I think Belmo now really needs to get a strike to try and get some pressure back on Zara.
And his last ball was his worst ball, so he'll be hoping that's an aberration. Remember, he just took 6 out with his first ball last time. He's getting the power and he's getting a lot of revolution with the ball, but he's not finding the pocket with any great accuracy so far. That is a much better hit. Boy, oh boy.
There you can see the explosive power he can create down at the bottom of the lane. I mean, those pins were exploded out of the pit.
You know, when he gets a line like that, you just know all 10 are going down, and that's how he bowled at 300. None of them were streaky or questionable. It was just ball after ball like that.
Yeah, well, basically the energy he creates with the revolutions and the tilt, the way he throws the ball, his strike percentage when he hits the pocket is far greater to most players out there.
So the game turning around a little bit.
Everyone who plays against Belmo, you're always knowing that if he can hit the pocket, he is going to strike a lot.
If you're the opponent, you don't even want to be thinking about it. Well, it's 9, but it was a Brooklyn hit, and it could have been a catastrophe.
And that's a common overcorrection. You've just missed a little bit to the right, and the back of your mind, you're saying to yourself, you can't afford to miss right, so the natural overcorrection and missing left.
So out comes the old pink spare ball for that 10 in the corner. I think you should bowl with a ball like that. You don't like that idea, do you?
No, they tried to convince me to wear a pink shirt, and I thought, no, I'd stick with the yellow.
Well, now this to me is the interesting ball, as Zara just starts to wonder where those strikes are going. This to me, though, the interesting ball. Belmonte just with an absolute classic strike. If he pulls another one of those out, it would suggest that Jason has worked this lane out, in which case watch out Zara Glover. Is he back online? Is it the double? Well, there wasn't much wrong with that, was there?
Wow, that is so powerful, it's scary. But getting back to that 9-pin, you know, obviously the ball definitely driving too hard into the pocket and not deflecting off the 5-pin. A few players so far in this World Masters have been asking for a lot of re-racks. A lot of guys believe that the 9-pin's been a bit offset to the right, also adding to the reason why we're leaving a lot more 9-pins than normal.
That's good news for Zara Glover. It keeps her in front, even though it's a single pin lead. Jason not yet able to build up a head of steam. Glover's got that open frame, but she's had 2 doubles in there as well, so those have been that open frame's been covered. Jason hasn't found a double yet.
Yeah, but just looking on the last few shots, you've got to say Belmo is the guy in form. He's really hit the pocket solidly in the last 2, and Zara, washing out a bit to the right and then going through the nose, and her next ball, you just got to worry that she's not making the wrong adjustments.
Yeah, she was safe and steady through the first 4 or 5, wasn't she? The last 2 have not been good pocket hits. But she needs to find the pocket again. That's a bit better, but look at what she's been left with. I thought she'd got the pocket, but...
Oh, that was stone flush, as we call it. That's just a terrible break there. Leaving the 7-9 off the hole. The dreaded 9-pin we've seen so much of already this World Masters.
That could so easily have been a strike. Instead, it's an open frame, and that's a horrible piece of luck.
Maybe look at the replay. You see the pins flying over the other pins. We're using twister pins in this tournament. They're synthetic pins, and they tend to fly around a lot more than the normal wood ones.
Now then, time for Jason Belmonte to be ruthless. Glover's having a tough time. This is where you want to turn on the afterburners and really start opening up some daylight. A chance here, well, anything other than open frame, he'll take the lead for the first time, and he deserved probably better than that, but this time it's the 10 that says, not today, Jason.
Not too often do you see Jason hitting the pocket flush and